back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. A big welcome back to all of my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your friendship. Thank you for being here, for your support of each other, especially in the comment section. I really hope to make this an inclusive space where we can all tell our stories and feel comfortable doing so. So thank you guys so much for helping me create that space. And if you have found yourself here for the very first time, or if you're a new subscriber, I would love to welcome you. Please join us, grab yourselves a snack, get cozy, and we'll have a little chat because we're all friends when we gather here together. So today's pick a card, we're looking at the person on your mind in no contact and asking the question, should you reach out to them? If you're waiting for them to reach out and you're just getting frustrated, we're going to ask Spirit if you should reach out to them and how would that person feel if you did. So we have 3 doorways for you to choose from today. We have doorway number 1 here with this piece of Super 7 stone. So I'll just bring it closer. We have doorway number 2 with this piece of tiger's eye. And we have doorway number 3 with this piece of, I think it's supposed to be aventurine, green aventurine. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting from Spirit, and my timestamps are listed below as always. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1, and today we're asking Spirit about whether or not you should reach out to the person on your mind and how would that person feel if you did. Pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. You are drawn to the Super 7 stone. Or perhaps you were drawn to this beautiful doorway here, and we're going to flip it over, and it says, intuition, simple, complex words of pain or words that heal. You come to know the truth by the way that it feels. So this card is really encouraging you to follow your intuition when it comes to this pathway with this person. So let's take a look and see what Spirit's advice is for you. So we're going to start with, how would this person feel if you did reach out? What would go through their mind? Well, we're already getting messages coming through. How would they feel if you reached out? And then we'll get Spirit's advice on whether or not you should do so. How would they feel if pile number 1 reached out, please? Ace of Wands. There's a sense of kind of wishful thinking, like this person, they've spent a long time hoping that there will be some type of connection, but they're really on the fence. I feel like they're pulled in different directions. It's like, be careful what you wish for, because if it actually comes true, we won't know how to handle it. Here's this Ace of Wands, which seems to reignite a spark. We have the Moon. And the Queen of Swords. And what I just saw actually in my mind was a dark night and then a flare up of a fire. So if we think we've smoldered the embers when we go camping, if you reached out to this person, it's like we didn't quite smolder them enough because there's going to be a flare up here. So as much as this person felt like perhaps they had moved forward or they had moved on, if you reached out to them, they would instantly get this flare up. And it's almost like they've been waiting for this. It's like waiting for some type of sign from you. I can't lie and say they wouldn't feel a smidgen intimidated though as well. It's like a mix between excitement and terror, like fear coming through. And the Judgment. Back of the deck is the 6 of Wands, and we have the 9 of Wands. It feels like they would feel vindicated or victorious in some way because they'd held on for such a long time. And there is this feeling of like, is it ever going to happen? You know, is it ever going to happen anyway? And so if you reached out to them, it would be this moment of like, I can't believe this has happened. And then an instant of fear. Instinctually, they'd feel fear. And then they would start this process of reflections. Like, what do I do now? They would start to judge themselves, judge the past. They would start to ruminate over the entire course of your connection, because ultimately this is an opportunity for a new beginning, right? This would be an opportunity, a doorway for them that they could enter into and explore with you. So they would instantly be excited and feel happy about it, but then they would have a lot to think about when it comes to whether or not they should respond. So let's take a look here and clarify this message. How would they feel if pile 1 reached out? I do feel like for someone watching, this person would have complications in their life that could perhaps prevent them from acting instinctually about how they feel, because they feel kind of helpless to change directions automatically if you were to sort of reach out of the blue. They're like, oh, it's great that I finally heard from this person, but what can I do about it now? Does it have to stay a spark? Because they feel stuck. 8 of Swords with the Moon again. Now, when we're dealing with restrictions, we always bring in certain restrictions that we feel put us in these prisons, and then Spirit spans out or scopes out to the spiritual scope, and they see the fear that actually is the reason why we're stuck, the fear of the unknown. And in this instance, the 8 of Swords is a magician's box. So they're taking responsibility for putting themselves in that box. So whatever is holding them back from being able to reach right back out to you right away, they put themselves there. It would definitely solidify for them, though, the truth of your feelings, because I feel like they're on the fence about whether or not you feel as intensely towards them as they feel towards you. And I feel like that's a mutual thing between the two of you. I do feel like both of you wonder if the other person feels strongly enough to reach out. So you taking that bold step would definitely light up all of the shadows in that area. And we have the High Priestess. Back of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles now. Underneath that is the Devil. They feel there's an attachment. It feels like there's an attachment here for you, pile 1, that does prohibit them from acting right away. I will say this, though, for someone watching, this person, even though they feel that hesitation and they know they shouldn't reach out right back, or they shouldn't reach back out to you right away, they do. They act very impulsively, and they do reach back out here with this Knight of Swords. And I feel like this world energy, in fact, this could happen sort of if an online component, you may decide to reach out to this person online. And if that was the case, this person would probably write you back. They would probably send a message back. They would probably be a little bit guarded in that message and not really share the whole totality of what's going on in their life or their restrictions. They would keep that close to their chest. But I feel like they would instinctively reach back out to you. Just automatically, without thinking, impulsively, actually. And I feel like they would almost have buyer's remorse after that, because they would worry about what the domino effect of that would be. How would they feel if you reached back out to them? If you reached out to pile 1, please. We have go the distance. Because that cheetah is sitting and ready for an opportunity. So it's like they've been waiting for that chance, waiting for that doorway. But I feel like even though they've been waiting for an opportunity for you to reach out to them, they're still not prepared for if you do. It's like they don't actually have, as much as they want it to happen, they don't actually think that you would, or they aren't prepared if you do reach out to them. But it makes them instinctively have to have this decision whether or not they're going to take advantage of it, because it creates a doorway. And what's the cause and effect of going through that doorway? So we have here the leap of faith. So if you reached out to them, your person would definitely be tempted to reach back out. And I feel like for some, I feel like they actually would. I think that they would respond to that message, because they're putting themselves on the edge. It says, come to the edge. But I feel like they would probably propel themselves over that edge. Because even Spirit says on the back of the deck, the yin, it's like you would just have to wait for that response, essentially. But that would, for someone, that would really present a huge risk that they're taking, because there is a lot that they're sort of sacrificing or risking in taking that leap. How would they feel if you reached out? You have here rising above. They'd finally get clarity, finally get freedom from some of the disturbing, ruminating energies and thoughts that they have about you. They would finally have an answer to, oh, do they feel the same? Do they want to talk to me? Instantly, all of those insecurities would disappear, and it's like they're followed up, or they are replaced by new practical issues. Back of the deck says Gaia, wisdom, knowledge, spiritual understanding. And there does seem to be sort of this excitement over closure coming in as well. like an opportunity for the two of you to mull out all of the energies that never got spoken about, be able to go over everything that sort of led the two of you to this position. So they would be anticipating that. Let's get a couple of message cards and see how would they be feeling and thinking for pile 1 if they were to reach out to this person. And then we'll get some advice from Spirit about what their perspective is should you reach out, and what to, you know, what to, you don't have to follow their advice, of course, but they will give you their advice willingly. We have I Heart You, the King of Cups. This person could be a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, but sometimes the King of Cups, you know, he's filled with so much emotion, but sometimes he feels forced to turn his back on it because of responsibilities. But this would feel like a floodgate opening. It's like an opportunity that we've been waiting for. Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Do you believe in magic? Because they would almost feel like they had conjured you up in some way. Their thoughts of you are pretty consistent. And so these thoughts, they would wonder, did I manifest this? Because it's a solution to sort of scattered energies or wasted potential. You were meant for me. And they would almost see it as a sign. They would see it as a sign that they should act impulsively, that this is their chance that they've been waiting for. It's an 11, it's the Justice. I was so unfair to you, and it's an opportunity for them to sort of create solutions to that. To create solutions to how they didn't act towards you in the past, or perhaps how they did treat you in the past. It's an opportunity for them to make amends and to have a do-over. That's what they would feel like. It's like, is this my opportunity for a do-over? This is all I have to give, the Page of Wands. I do feel like as much as there will be communication, there is a hesitation in action towards moving this connection forward, because I feel like there's other things that this person is dealing with right now. And those other things can have many, many names, because we're dealing with the collective reading. So there could be third party, there could be jobs, there could be all sorts of responsibility, you know, worldly upheaval that's affecting their life right now. So if you reached out to them right this moment, it may not be the most opportune time, but there'll never be a perfect timing. Back of the deck says, I shouldn't have treated you like all of the rest. And that, I feel like that's really what they want to communicate with you as well. But let's ask Spirit's opinion. Should you reach out to this person? As I said, they won't force it, but they definitely can see the forest through the trees in places where we cannot. And so they'll give their perspective. Should pile 1 reach out to their person? You have the Queen of Swords. And that's why they want you to trust that intuition. As we said with the intuition card, that you are highly intuitive and you can trust in that divine guidance that comes in. 4 of Swords. Ace of Cups. Ace of Swords. 7 of Cups. Back of the deck is the 7 of Wands. I also spied the 6 of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. Spirit is calling for a mild delay here. They're calling for you to pause before action, but they are encouraging you to reach out if you feel called to. This Ace of Cups is talking about sort of an opportunity to create peace and clarity in the situation that is very confusing for both of you. So if you're feeling called to reach out to this person to create that clarity, they're asking you to pause, to reflect before you do. With this 4 of Swords, just to gather yourself, to decide what your objective is here. What are your goals in reaching out to this person? Do you want to precipitate closure? Do you want change? Do you want movement in this connection? And making sure that you are resolved in that approach. But they are encouraging you to power through your insecurities here. And if you feel called to reach out to create these solutions or clarity, then they definitely are behind you 100% in that path, and they will follow you down that road. They are indicating that this is an option for you, that they're not going to, this won't make or break your life, of course, but they are encouraging you, but they say that there are complications here. So that's why they're saying that there could be other options here, and there are certain truths that could be complications or they sting a little bit. The Ace of Swords is talking about certain realities that we're going to have to face if we do choose to reach out. One of those realities may be that there are too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. So they just want you to keep, that's why they want that pause before action, because they just want to, they want you looking at things from the highest perspective and having your expectations kind of neutral as you go into that reunion of sorts. But they are encouraging here, Ten of Cups, for you to act upon your intuition and reach out if you feel called to, because it can definitely bring in some sort of clarity. And for some too, it can really create motion and movement in this connection as well. Let's get a charm bowl for you. Pile number 1. In the bowl, please. What does this person think about pile 1 right this moment? What are they thinking? Thirsty for you. We have the Emperor sitting in his desert, passively sitting, and he's thinking about the past because he's armored up like this knight to remind us that he once was this young knight, and now he's had so much time and space to figure out this connection. We have the Chariot reverse. We also have the Two of Pentacles reverse. So if there's going to be movement at all or clarity in this connection, Spirit says it will have to be the Divine Feminine or that counterpart that does bring it forward, that clarity. Because this person that you're asking about is feeling really stuck, feeling really, really stuck and unable to commit to a path here at this very moment. So if you're looking for clarity or closure and you're really feeling called to pursue that, Spirit says you will probably have to be the one who brings forward that clarity by reaching out. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to get it to stand up, but it doesn't want to. We have the Knight of Pentacles here with the rectangular, I don't know if it's not a shell, it's like a bead. I think of the Knight of Pentacles because of those plowed laneways that are perfectly in line in the traditional Rider-Waite. I think about somebody with a lot of responsibilities, and I also think of a separation that has been very long standing. So you've had to exert a lot of patience here. We have the letter T, and we have the 4-leaf clover, good luck. We also have a fawn in the bowl, so there could be children involved in the connection at this point, but I also feel like this is such a long-standing disconnect that I feel like you may have gone to school with this person or you may have known them when they were young. We have beauty, and we have half of the yin-yang. It's like feeling like something is missing. And we have the King of Cups, again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and we have the pizza pie. That is what I have for you today, pile number 1, and if it resonated with you, I'd love to hear your story in the comment section below, so that we can get some words of encouragement back to you. If you do drop me a comment below, be sure to subscribe and hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me, and I will be drawing a name for that in the next couple of days. A big congratulations to the last winner. And I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below. But I hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile 2, you are drawn to the Tiger's Eye. Or perhaps to this beautiful blue doorway, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, should you reach out to them, and how would they feel if you did? So this blue doorway says, deeper, you are not finished, you are not yet done, dig deeper and deeper, the best is yet to come, hold on, hold on. So we'll see how that flows into your reading today. We're going to start with how would your person feel if you did reach out, and then we're going to get some advice from Spirit. So how would this person feel if pile 2 reached out to them? The Knight of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. I just saw the 5 of Cups with the Hermit as well, because it really feels like this person had kind of given up hope that you might reach out to them or that there would be any sort of movement. The High Priestess. You have the 7 of Swords. Back of the deck is the Temperance, and we have the Knight of Pentacles. And there's sort of an interesting energy coming through here with the Temperance energy and the Knight of Pentacles. It was similar to pile 1 in the fact that This could be a very long-standing no contact situation. So with the Temperance energy, there's this desire to come together. There's a desire to communicate. There's a desire to even physically come together. But there's like no rush. It's like there's not a fire lit underneath us. So this person is really focused on their own journey at this moment. So it would come in very unexpectedly if you were to reach out to them. And as soon as I put down that Knight of Cups, all I heard was vulnerability. It's like it instantly would make them feel, here's the Seven of Wands reversed. It would make them want to reach right back out again because there's a sense of wanting movement with the Knight of Cups, but he's hesitating for some reason. And even the Hanged Man, there's a hesitation. He's waist deep in water because it's like they had given up hope. So they didn't anticipate that happening. So if you reached out to them, it would be this opportunity that they really didn't expect. And so they don't feel ready for it. It comes in almost as a shock or something. Eight of Wands. And I feel like because it comes in as almost a shock, they have nothing prepared. You know, it's like some people will go through a dialogue in their mind and they think if this person reaches out to me, I'm going to say this and this and this and this. And I have everything prepared of what I'm going to do and say in order to create closure or clarity. And this person is not prepared at all. It almost feels like a sucker punch to the gut. Like they are so shocked that you would reach out to them. And then all of a sudden it's like a floodgates open and this Eight of Wands shows up, this opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles. And it's like this person's like, this is my chance. This might be my chance to let it out, to let everything inside of me out. Everything I wanted to say. And so if you reached out to them, actually Spirit says if you reached out to them, they would kind of go on a hunt. They would be sort of like this, because I just saw Sherlock Holmes. They would go hunting for you. They'd go online, they'd search you out, they'd see what's going on in your life. They'd be almost a little sleuth or detective trying to gather and collect as much information as possible. This person likes to be prepared, and I feel like that's why you reaching out to them, it throws them completely off guard because they're not prepared for it. Here's the Three of Swords. We have the Queen of Wands and we have the Knight of Cups with the Tower. So the Tower in this case is really talking about confusion and emotional upheaval. Every time you look at it in a different scene, it has different scenes and different people. It's very confusing. I don't know if I'm coming or going in this Tower. And that's what this person feels like. It's like they didn't anticipate it, so they'd be thrown for a loop for a moment. And it would take them some time to recalibrate and figure out what their next step would be. For someone watching, and this is not for everyone, but for someone watching, I feel like this person could be in a relationship, or perhaps you are, because I feel like there is this fear of third party on their mind and hurting them if they reached back out to you. And they're hesitant, and they're anxious about it though. So if you reached back out to them, they would hesitate to reach back out to you, but it would be on their mind about what impression that was leaving you. It's like, oh my gosh, they're going to get the impression that I'm leaving them on red, or they're going to get the impression that I'm not interested and I'm anxious about that. So there's an anxiety that sort of permeates the situation, because the truth is that as much as they had released the expectation, they've never released the love and they've never released the connection. And they feel like they want to tell you how you've influenced them. I feel like they don't even necessarily have expectations if you were to reach out other than healing and closure, but they definitely want to communicate to you how you have influenced their journey as well. So if you reached out to them, they would see that as an opportunity, a natural doorway, but they wouldn't know how to proceed, and so they would hesitate to reach back out. And I want to clarify actually that Seven of Swords, because they also wouldn't like expressly share this news with everyone. If they are in other environments, or if they have another partner, for instance, even if they have roommates, I don't feel like they would be like announcing it to the world that you reached out. They would keep it very secret. And for someone who is determined, I feel like this person's almost determined to plod forward in their responsibilities. All of a sudden, this unexpected event would thrust them into a reflection on the past. and it would lead them to have to make a decision about how to proceed. But there is hesitation in that decision. Here with the Death energy, the Four of Cups as backup deck as well, it's talking about not taking that decision lightly, because they understand that this opportunity not only is an opportunity for them to expressly create clarity or closure or share with you how you've influenced them, but it also has the potential to create a rebirth. But this rebirth is associated with the death of something else. Something has to close. It's like a door. It's like if one door closes, another window opens, but something has to close in order for that to come forward, and they feel helpless in that regard. Where's the Four of Cups? So it's like they're not prepared for the rebirth that this could create, and that's why the hesitation happens. It almost feels like they don't trust themselves either to not charge forward if they didn't hesitate. How do they feel, please, Spirit? We have here Zen Garden, inner sanctuary. They would feel really excited about it, but they would carry it in a very secret place. And it's kind of disappointing that they wouldn't be able to share their excitement. We have here a hidden gift. It says sadness, an ending, and a new beginning. And there is a certain amount of bittersweetness about your spread, pile 2, because as much as they're sort of excited about this opportunity, it does require careful reflection on their part because of that death energy that we just talked about. Back of the deck says the Nine of Hearts, fulfillment, harmony, and protection. And that really makes me think about the Nine of Cups and about how excited they are that this dream that seemed not realistic came to fruition if you did reach out to them. How would they feel if you reached out to your person? We have truth be told. It's like, I've been waiting. There's the Temperance. It's number 14. It's like, I've been waiting for an opportunity to take my mask off and share my true feelings with you. But I also feel like patience would be required of them to be able to execute any type of reaction to you. I don't necessarily feel like they would reach back out to you right away. For instance, if you did reach out to them online, I don't know that they would respond to you right away. There would be that hesitation. But we have Treasure Island, number 9 again, which is like the Nine of Cups, with this sea turtle with this beautiful chest of gold on its back. And in the chest of gold is starfish, which is a symbol of healing. Healing from a very, very profound loss. Like healing, like as if I lost an arm, I lost a leg, and I have to regrow that limb over time. And then we have Come to the Edge, number 36. But it would challenge them, because it came out reversed, it would challenge them to take a leap of faith, but I feel like they would hesitate. Let's take a look at some energies and message cards to see what would go on internally for pile 2's person if they were to reach out. I just saw definitely in reverse. How would they feel if pile 2 reached out to them? I just want space. The Six of Swords reverse. An inability to move on. Now is not the time. So they definitely would hesitate to reach back out to you, pile 2. We are fated to meet again, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. And that's why I feel like they would have given up hope. It's like they feel fated towards you, but they feel like they have to mourn you now. That's why the Hermit came out with that Five of Cups originally. They feel like they have to mourn you now. So this moment would be monumentous for them because they had given up hope. But they still feel stuck. They still feel, even though this Wheel of Fortune is moving in their favor, they would still feel stuck. I don't want to lose you. They would feel very sort of possessive over you. And we have here, I'm ready to fight for this, the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands represents sort of hitting a wall, a little bit of a challenge and a hurdle that they have to overcome. It's insecurity, it's jealousy. We also have this scares me. This doorway, this love, this opportunity terrifies me. But the fear of the unknown can be, what's in the unknown can be just as amazing as what we're fearing. It's like our worst fears don't usually come to fruition, but that's exactly how they would be feeling if you reached out to them. So let's get some advice from Spirit and ask Spirit, should you reach out? And as I said, Spirit will give you their advice. You don't have to follow it. They follow you down ultimately every path that you choose, willingly and gladly. But they definitely give their opinion of things. So should you reach out to pile number 2 to your person, should you reach out? We have the 2 of Swords. I almost feel like this deeper card is your person's it's like a guidance for your person. It's like they're trying to hold on, but they're having a difficult time expecting any movement. We have the Queen of Swords. The 3 of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles. Back of the deck is the King of Wands. We have the Magician as well. Spirit is advocating for you to reach out if you feel called to. They say that you've been very passive about this in the past, and they do say that if you are waiting for this person to reach out, that they're being very passive and protective of their environment. They are indicating that there is some challenges if your expectation upon reaching out to your person is solutions and new connections and new beginnings with this person. That is a possibility. It's going to apply a lot of pressure to the Divine Masculine to separate himself from what he's built, to be able to move forward. You know, it's gonna challenge them to step outside of the comfort zone, but it's not insurmountable. So Spirit is indicating that if you feel called to reach out, they want you to do so. They do want to warn of position issues. So take that as it resonates to your situation, to your person's situation. This King of Pentacles has spent some time building something, and he's currently in the middle of building something. So this is just a truth and awareness that the Queen of Swords is kind of holding on to, but she's still holding on to that sword of clarity. So if your hope is to create clarity or closure in the situation, Spirit is indicating that they are all for that. They're right behind you in that expectation. They just are warning of some challenges or complications in pursuing another connection or pursuing a second chance in this connection. But they are indicating that they are saying that you should reach out if you feel called to. They always encourage us to speak our truth as much as possible, because it helps us to elevate ourselves. Even if the other person doesn't have the strength or courage to step back towards us, it allows us to elevate our own frequency, and it communicates a lot to the universe about what we're ready for. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile 2. Charm bowl, please, for pile number 2. What was the last thought that pile 2's person had on their mind for pile number 2 today? They wonder if you're happy. They're confused about how you feel. They wonder if you're happy. They have not finished the healing process when it comes to you. As much as they've released the expectations of what could be, they like to fantasize about what could be, or reaching out to you or communicating with you. They also like to fantasize about what you guys could have built together. But it's like they aren't holding on to this expectation of you creating that clarity now. And they are comfortable, they are comfortable sitting in their position right this moment. So they may continue to be passive towards you as far as contact. So if clarity is going to be had, you may have to be the one to create it. But they do like to fantasize and think about what could have been. And it's a very sort of bittersweet mentality coming through. And even here at the bird is not flying, so it's like a perched bird. We have the letter K. We also have the letter I. We have a rabbit. We have the rabbit, Page of Wands. So wanting to pursue, wanting to explore this connection. We have the big Empress with the star fish here. We also have the Empress with this starfish. It's talking about the divine feminine needing healing or needing closure. I also feel like there could be children involved. So take that as it resonates to your situation. We have the butterfly of transformation, which is all about our shifts in our interior shifts and how we turn that gaze inward. And that's what they're calling for. Before any action, they ask us to perform a reflection so that we can create a practical plan for ourselves with practical expectations. We have the Crown, I think about position. We also have the Infant Jesus of Prague, so there could be a Catholic connection here, or again, children already involved, which complicates situations, which again adds to the complications of those mountains through that archway. And we have the Moon as well, Scorpio energy. All right, pile 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, I'd love to hear your story below in the comments section, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to drop me that comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me, and I will be drawing another name for that this week, so be sure to drop your comment. I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below as well. But I hope that you come back for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile 3, you were drawn to the Green Adventurine, or perhaps to this archway, and this is your reading. Should you reach out to the person on your mind, and how would they feel if you do? This archway says 3 of Cups, a toast to friendship in the afternoon sun, 3 cups and happiness, 3 cheers are done, celebration is near. So let's hope that that's a good omen for what's to come. Let's take a look at this, at their feelings first. How would they feel if you reached out to them at this time? So this could be an indicator of where the beginnings of this relationship started. So this could have started as a friendship. This could currently be a friendship and no contact. Perhaps it begged for more in the past and never got there. But let's see, how would they feel if you reached out to them? We have the 10 of Coins. We have the Justice. And it's interesting because I keep hearing, as soon as I put down that 10 of Coins, that Maggie Rogers Lights On card or song came in my mind. It's like, if you keep reaching out, then I'll keep coming back. But if you're gone for good, then I'm okay with that. It's the sense of keeping a light on for this connection, despite having perhaps moved forward in career, moved forward in life, because they've grown, they've evolved, right? I feel like this has really, there's been a lot of years perhaps here for some watching. How would they feel? And it would, a part of them would feel really justified by that, would feel really excited that you reached out, would feel really justified because they've been holding this space for you, despite everything that they've been growing in their life. So they would feel really justified by that, but they would have to maintain that excitement in a secret place, because that Justice energy is wearing that mask. We have the 2 of Cups. So if this started as a friendship with this 3 of Cups energy here, it would be, I don't feel like they wanted to stay in the friendship realm. I feel like they wanted more. And it looks like these cups are being clinked together in a cheers. We have the Knight of Swords. And we have the 3 of Wands. Ooh. Back of the deck is the Devil and the World. And you can see in this World card, it looks like a devil who's controlling the world. Now, what's interesting about the energy that's coming through for you, pile 2, is the fact that this person, if you reached out to them, would be really excited about it, and they would act impulsively towards you. If you reached out to them online, I feel like they would respond to you right away. Even though if there's something in their life that gets in the way of that, that doesn't seem to affect the fact that they still respond, and they still want to kind of explore where that response will take them. 6 of Pentacles. If you reached out to them, you do present a temptation to this person. And for someone watching, this person could be a part of a karmic situation or a karmic relationship. So take that as it resonates, because it's like it's not just their fate that lies in the balance if they act impulsively towards you. But it's like an opportunity. It's like this, if you reached out to them, it would communicate a lot to them about how you feel, or at least they would take it as an internal communication about how you feel, because I feel like they've always found you really physically attractive, and they perhaps never had the courage to take that mask off and see where that would lead them. We have the Empress. Because it seems like there is a competition here. Nine of Cups. Oh my goodness. This person would be so kind of excited, but also there's such a strong temptation here for you, pile 3. Because this represents kind of a wish, like they dream about this. That's why that light is on, because they can't let it go out. They need to make sure that you know that that light will always be on. No matter how big that castle gets, that light is always going to be on for you. And I do feel like they have a lot of other responsibilities, but that doesn't seem to matter. Here is the Devil with the 3 of Wands, and we also have here the Page of Pentacles. And we have the 4 of Cups. Now, if we look really closely at the 4 of Cups here, you can see that there's a scissors here, there's a magnet. We have the Devil, which is talking about feeling kind of drawn to you obsessively a bit. There's a sexual energy to it as well, but the scissors is indicating an indecision, being pulled in different directions, and really not having the ability to commit to you if you reached out, but really they would respond to you. And I feel like if this started in friendship and we kept a light on for this connection, I feel like if you reached out to this person, it feels like it doesn't stay in friendship. It feels like it moves into almost a dangerous exploration, if I'm honest, like a fiery, dangerous exploration here, because you provide such a temptation. And it's like they can't resist. It's like they're feeling drawn to you like a moth to a flame. How would they feel if pile 2 reached out, please? And pile 3 reached out. We have here Sacred Earth Mother, a message of love, and this almost looks like a natural gateway. And that's what the Justice really represents, is this natural gateway towards the unknown. But there are sort of cause and effect to our actions there. And we have Ganesha, clearing away obstacles, protection, and guidance. And you know, this is interesting because I feel like they, as I said, they don't seem to care about those obstacles if you reach out to them. They seem to just sort of rush in impulsively with the Knight of Swords. And sometimes the Knight of Swords will do that. He'll rush in without gathering enough information. And then on the other side of it, there could be a consequence, but that's what they're sort of focused on, is getting rid of some of the obstacles here. We have Enchanted Forest. It says mystery, magic, and excitement. So if you reached out to them, they would feel really, really excited, really excited and wanting to explore that. But there is something that suppresses the growth there. There is something, and again, the Tree of Life can really represent foundations in place or other responsibilities that this person has grown or really contributed to. How would they feel if they reached out? If you reached out to them? How would they feel? We have Be Here and Now. And I feel like that's a challenge for this person because you lie in their past, and so their awareness is often brought to the past. So that's a habitual thing that they now have to break. This Here and Now card, there's potential, this egg of potential. I feel like they would want to take advantage of this great opportunity in case it never showed up again. Because it talks about a potential that was never incubated. But you can even see she's wielding a red flag. I can't read what's on there. My eyes are too terrible. I'm sorry. I can't read that. I'll try to get closer to it later. But she's wielding this red flag because I feel like there could be red flags in this person's position or something. We have here Come to the Edge, though. They're going to take that risk. And Thinkers in reverse. They're not even going to think about it. If you reached out to them, they would instinctively hit that reply button right away. They won't even think about it. They're going to take that risk. Not even thinking about the consequences with the Knight of Swords. Let's get some message cards to see what would be going on in their mind. How would they feel if pile 3 reached out to them? Sorry about that. It's a truck going by. If I know that I hurt you. And that's the 3 of Swords. Now there is indicators here. Spirit says that someone watching, there could be third party on there and they may have moved into a commitment. There could be a family unit there as well. I'm right where you left me, 6 of Swords reversed. I can't move forward. And that's why the light is still on for you, because nothing's changed for them. So they would react to you reaching out the same way they would have reacted to you reaching out 10 years ago or whenever the disconnect began. Nothing has changed for them. They can't move over. or move on. We have, I see things clearly now. They've had nothing but time to figure out this connection and to figure out what they would do if they got the opportunity, because they almost feel like they conjured it up. It could even be that they're trying to manifest this. They could be trying to manifest you reaching out to them. We have here, I'm making plans for us, the page reversed, an overflow of fresh start and emotions. And the page is reversed because I feel like there's difficulties in that realm. There's poor planning, or there's a difficulty in planning this new emotional start. But here's the yin, which is the divine feminine. And it's like, I wonder if I'm strong enough to face this. And that, I feel like this yin card is talking about the divine feminine and about this opportunity with the divine feminine and feeling drawn with the devil energy. And there could be Capricorn energy here as well, but being drawn to this divine feminine without the ability to resist. And then there we have the 8, which is the strength energy, wondering if they're strong enough to resist, wondering if they're strong enough to face the consequences if they don't resist. But I don't feel like they can resist. Spirit says that the devil gets a hold of them almost, and they do reach back out to you. But let's get some advice from Spirit. They will give us their advice on whether or not we should reach out. And of course, you don't have to follow their directives, but they will definitely give you their perspective. But ultimately, they will follow you down whatever path you choose in this connection. But should pile 3 reach out to this person? Should pile 3 reach out to this person? 4 of Pentacles. I almost feel like there's a mutual possessiveness here. It's like I'm hearing, that's my person. It's like, oh, if that's Bob, then that's Katie's Bob, or if, you know, as an example. But it's like, that's my person, that's your, you know, it's like you guys have claimed one another, even though there was no physical claiming, there was no relationship potentially. It's like you claimed one another's energetically. We have the 10 of Pentacles. We have the 10 of Swords. We also have the Knight of Pentacles showing itself, but we're going to leave him in. So there's a lot of complications here. The Knight of Wands. Back of the deck is the 5 of Pentacles. We also have the 8 of Cups. So in this case, pile 3, your guides are really indicating that they feel you should release this expectation because there are too many consequences that could be detrimental to your path moving forward. This 10 of Swords in the center is really asking us to reflect upon the reasons why we want reconnections, because this person feels almost addicted. You know, there's an obsessive energy, but I feel like it could be mutual. I feel like there's 2 of you that are kind of stuck in this connection together, and there's a wishful energy about it, but there's also very passive energy too with this 9 of Cups seated down. The Knight of Wands here is charging in impulsively, but the consequence could be very, very negative for your person, for you potentially as an extrapolation or as a ripple effect. And so the 8 of Cups is encouraging you to move forward from this connection at this time. Of course, as I said, this is your show, this is your life, and ultimately your guides will follow you down whatever path you feel inspired to take. And there are no wrong sort of paths that we take. There are no wrong decisions, because ultimately they're filled with lessons, and your guides will help you to draw out whatever lessons you require. It's just that some of those lessons are darker and some of them aren't needed for your enlightenment forward, and so they don't want to put you through unnecessary pain if it's not needed, you know, if it's not purposeful towards something more or more growth. So they are encouraging us to release this idea, because there does seem to be quite a lot of practical things that lie in the balance. And that'll be a huge tower that falls. Not that it's insurmountable, not that it can't be rebuilt, but Spirit in this case is asking us to sway away from this pursuit at this time. They just say that we may not feel emotionally fulfilled by what happens next after after the expansion, after all of this sort of dangerous movement that I was speaking of, they just feel like you may not feel fulfilled by the consequences that happen if you do reach out. They, of course, support you in whatever path you choose, as I said, but that's just their advice. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. What was the last thought that your person had in their mind about you? Pile 3. Whoops, out of the bowl. We have here the King of Cups. We have the Five of Wands reversed. We have the Eight of Swords. So there's a lot of restriction with the Eight of Swords, and it does indicate an emotional prison where there's a lot of overthinking, and it's a prison that we kind of place ourselves into. We walk in willingly, and then we have a difficult time getting out. It's kind of like a lobster trap or a wasp nest or something, or a wasp trap. It's like they get in, but they can't figure out how to get out. And so there's a sense of you or this person potentially mutually are stuck in situations that are difficult to navigate out of without creating a lot of extreme consequences. And so there's a sense of overcoming our own challenges towards closure here on an individual scale. Their last thoughts of you too surrounded that restriction and not being able to overcome the obstacle, but really wishing that they could, because there is still a very strong desire here. We have here but. Oh, I don't like the word but in the bowl, because every time somebody says the word but, it's just a caveat to something. It's like, I love you, but I miss you, but I want you, but there's always some excuse. And that's what Spirit's saying, is that there's going to be a negative consequences here. We have the heart chakra with the stethoscope. We have K and we have no other letter. It's like, I feel like it's like the two of you have claimed one another. It's like the two of you are this pair or something, or you were in the past. We have the starfish, which is healing energy of release. We have the chariot energy with the bicycle, but it's empty. So I think about decisions we made in youth and when we were young, and how now there's no rider here. It's like I wasn't able to make an important decision then. I'm biting myself now, or I'm kicking myself now. We have the high priestess with the curled shell because it holds secrets, just like the high priestess does. And now we have the horse. So if we have the child chariot with the bicycle, we have the horse now, which is about freedom and having a choice. Now, if there are, again, family dynamics, home dynamics here that are creating the biggest obstacle, there is choice with your person and whether or not they should or can stay in that realm. They have a choice if they want to, but there's a lot of consequences that meet them if they do choose to walk away from it. And then we have the guitar pick. All right, pile 3, that's what I had for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. And if it did, I would love to hear your story below in the comments section, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And be sure to drop that comment so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. I also want to add that I offer private readings through my Etsy account, and I have other links below for Instagram, for example, if you want to check me out there. But I hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day.